Hi, everybody. All that noise in the back. Oh, my God. That would be Florida woman getting her coffee.
The fact that you could hear that, and I'm so far away from the mic.
Oh, we heard it quite clearly.
Sorry about that.
Sounded like a minor train wreck going on.
Literally like 30 feet away from the microphone. That's crazy.
Good microphone.
Alrighty. I am here.
And she has her coffee.
Yes.
You may want to drink some of it now. Let the caffeine kick in before we start.
No, I've already been doing Instacart orders this morning, so I'm wide awake.
Oh, okay. There we go. Hi, everybody. How's it going out there?
Oh, let me open up Substack so I can see our peoples.
The peoples, yo. The peoples. It's all about the peoples.
Bob, we're not going to start this shit this morning.
I'm just looking at Political Wire. Apparently, Trump is saying that his ballroom is now going to cost $400 million.
Why?
Because he keeps changing what he wants, and he wants it to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's going to be bigger than the White House. I don't know how many of you have actually been to D.C. to see the White House, but it is unimpressive. It's very small.
I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a palace originally,
Yeah.
So I get that.
No, for sure, but I'm just saying that it's very small. So this guy. Hello, hi Dana. While people are starving, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's just so small, so I just can't imagine. I can't imagine what this ballroom is going to look like. It's going to be so bad.
Oh my goodness, we have Dana today.
I know. I just said hello to her.
I know. Oh my goodness. Well, it's because she's not doing her show. We're actually on not at the same time as she is. So yay. What's up, WasX?
That's Morgan.
I know, but she doesn't go by Morgan anymore on here. So
I know.
Call her that. See, it's Secret Morgan. Yeah, so there's this ongoing conspiracy theory. I think we talked about it on the show before, that Trump's building a massive data center in the middle of DC. It's going to be 900 feet underground, and it's going to consolidate all of the information that they stole from Doge, and it's going to be how they're going to control the country, and that's why they're actually building it there. And blah, blah, blah. And that's why it's so expensive, et cetera, et cetera.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all, because they'll never finish it in 3 years. And why would you build? Because, I mean, that would be an extremely powerful weapon, right? In the hands of a fascist government or any government, right? Why would you build it knowing there's a really good chance it's going to fall in the hands of Democrats who would then use it?
Also, the data thing doesn't really make sense. They're going to consolidate all the data. They already have this data. They could just do that at any time anyways.
Well, I mean, the idea is to put it into one big, massive center, and they put all the data together, and then they can use it to control the country. I mean, that is why they're building the database in the first place. Right, there's all these bits and all this information the government has never been put together in one central database on purpose, right?
So who's freaking out about this? Because this sounds like a Second Amendment conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be people on the right. It seems to be people on the left. Although I'm sure at some point the people on the right are going to pick up on that, and they're going to lose their fucking minds, because once they realize that it's not going to be Republicans in control of DC in a couple of years, they're going to be like, you can't let them have control of our data, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you should have said something when Doge was stealing all of it.
This is definitely going to circle back to the right for sure.
Oh, absolutely. and then they're going to want to burn the ballroom to the ground. It's like,
Because
yep,
this is a perfect QAnon conspiracy theory.
yep. But I mean, honestly, I mean, they are building that database. They are building it. That was the point of stealing all the data and putting it all, getting all that data and putting it all in one place. Not physically necessarily, but building that database was so they can start, you know, because that's like the authoritarian dream.
I love that you clarified that it wouldn't physically be all in the same place.
Well, it wouldn't have to be, right?
It wouldn't have to be. That's the point of data.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in one place, but you know, just the idea that they're going to build this without anyone knowing about it in the middle of Washington, D.C., the most visible city in the world. And no one's going to know they're doing it. It's secret. It's like, come on, guys. Come on.
All right.
Really? Relax.
I don't think that because we're starting late, so I don't think we're going to get a ton of like viewers right away.
It's fine.
I think we can just start.
All right. Let us get it going. Tee-hee. All right. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, I am like looking at all the wrong spots here. There we go. Okay. This is the Opinionated Ogre Podcast, your weekly rampage through current events with a little snark, a bit of foul language, and a lot of strong opinions. There are new episodes every Thursday, and they're not safe for work or polite company of any kind whatsoever. I am your podcast host, the Opinionated Ogre, and this is my co-host, Florida Woman. Hello, Florida Woman.
Good morning.
How's it going over there in Florida?
It's going.
Are the iguanas falling out of the trees again, or do you actually have like warm weather again?
It was a little bit chilly this morning, but now it's 75, so meh.
Oh, la-di-da for you. It's been like, 30 and below. My pumpkin plant died outside. Ambition pumpkin plant died. I knew it was going to. It was just how far was it going to make it before the cold weather got to it.
It was 16 in Niagara Falls the other day.
Woo!
I said, ooh, that's too cold for me. Can't do that.
Yeah, we're hoping to go there for spring break.
I know you told me I'm going to have all the spots for you.
Yeah, we are planning to go there. We're going to avoid the American side because apparently it's a shithole. But, we'll be in
No,
Canada.
You have to go to the American side because you have to go to the fort. And there's lots of cool things on the American side. You just don't want to stay there.
Yeah, we'll go for a day trip.
My favorite, where my favorite food is. Like, I'll give you all of the scoop.
All right. So now for today's show, I wanted to open for the show. I wanted to pick a soundbite from The Princess Bride to celebrate the life and accomplishments of Rob Reiner, but picking a single clip from a movie where 90% of the dialogue is the most quotable dialogue known to mankind is inconceivable. See what I did there? So instead, I just couldn't. I just couldn't narrow it down, and we would just been here 20 minutes of just clips from the movie. So it was like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So instead,
also, I've never seen it, so none of it would make sense to me.
So that's the end of the show for today. That's it. We're ending the show, and we can't be friends anymore. I'm sorry. This is the last episode. This is worse than what was the other thing that you hadn't seen?
Not that I haven't seen.
Oh, that you don't like. Yeah, you don't like Back to the Future. This is worse than that.
No, I like the first Back to the Future. I just don't like. Oh, I just got your message on our national security app. I don't like the second and third Back to the Future. That's the difference.
This is qualitatively worse than that. I'm sorry. I'm filing for divorce and I'm looking for a new co-host.
Every time I think of The Princess Bride, I think it's that movie with like Andre the Giant.
It is.
Oh, okay. No, I've never seen it, but I love me some Andre the Giant. Let's move on. We'll be here all day.
That's it. I can only deal with this for so much. I have to end it. I can't with you. This is the recording for December 18th and our final show of 2025 because we're not doing any more shows ever again. And we have a lot to get to on this final episode, 78 of the Og Pod. Actually, it's our second to last episode of the year. We'll be back for one more. Maybe. All right. Are we ready to do this?
Yeah, I think so.
So disappointed in you. Okay, let's get to it. It's time for the Ogre Nation news update.
Roar.
Roar. Roar. All right, on to actual serious stuff here. A father and son opened fire at Bondi Beach. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly because I keep hearing it. Yeah, it might be like an Australian thing. They were saying it differently. I was like, that's not how it's spelled. But so Bondi Beach in Australia, it was on Sunday. During a popular annual Hanukkah celebration. As of the last I looked, 15 people died, and at least 40 were injured. The casualties would have been way, way worse if a local fruit vendor, himself a Muslim immigrant who became an Australian citizen a few years ago, had not charged at one of the shooters, pulled his gun away, and chased him off. Ahmed Al-Ahmed caught 5 bullets, at least 5 bullets for his trouble, mostly in his his right arm. Wait, hold on. Left arm. But he's alive, and so are a lot of other people because of his actions. We should also take a moment to acknowledge Boris and Sophia Gurman. There's dash cam footage shows Boris disarmed the second gunman, but the couple who were in their 60s were later murdered by the shooter. I'm not entirely clear what happened, but he got his gun back and then he went on to kill a bunch of people, including the Gurmans, obviously. But how incredible that these 3 people that they had no weapons, they were all older, and they didn't think twice about trying to save their community. So, you know, that's ballsy to charge at somebody with holding a gun and you don't have one. So now anti-Semitism has been on the rise all across the globe, and Australia is no exception, which is why the Jewish community there was not at all surprised by the violence. They were shocked, they were horrified, but not particularly surprised by it. So let me tell you what I saw immediately after. Everywhere people posted about how sad the violence was, there was a swarm of people, and this was liberals and progressives and holier-than-thou leftists who could not keep themselves from making comments like, do you also feel bad for the Palestinians in Gaza? Or maybe if Israel stopped committing genocide? And it's tragic that this happened, but with all the suffering in Gaza, what did you expect? And to every single one of those people, I can only say, find a hole, fill it with razor blades and lemon juice, and then fuck off into it face first. And if you're offended by that, too fucking bad. While you're throwing your little self-righteous temper tantrum, and oh my, have I had many people throwing their little fucking temper tantrums for the last 3 days at me, perhaps you can explain why you felt compelled in the wake of a mass murder in Australia to talk about Gaza. I've asked a whole bunch of people about this. Not one of them has been able to give me an answer. I asked again and again and again, why are you talking about Gaza when a bunch of people were murdered in Australia? Why are you bringing this up at all? Why are you talking about Israel? Why is this relevant in any way, shape, or form? And instead of responding to what should have been a really simple question, they got angrier and angrier and angrier at me. people got really fucking mad at me for the last 3 days. It was not fun to watch, but I eat trolls for breakfast and I was not fucking having it. So here's the problem for these people. Some of them knew exactly what they were doing when they made their little fucking comments. Some of them didn't know, because racism like this is so ingrained, it's the air they breathe. But when I asked them to explain what they were doing, as soon as I asked, they all knew what the answer was. And it made them feel like a piece of shit. And that's why they got really, really mad. Every single one of them understood, as soon as I asked, that they were holding Jews in Australia responsible for the atrocities being committed by Israel. And that's exactly the same thing the right does when they call all Muslims terrorists after an attack anywhere in the world.
Also, it's important to note that Australia has recognized the Palestinian state. So the whole premise was fucking stupid.
I mean, either way.
I know, right? But I'm just saying that they don't seem to recognize that. It makes it even dumber.
Now, this is the same thing, when they call Muslims terrorists, or when the right calls all gay men pedophiles when one hurts a kid. It's exactly the same thing. And for Jews, right, it's this dual loyalty trope, right? All Jews are secretly part of a grand conspiracy, blah, 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 blah. We're all loyal to Israel, even though most of us don't live in Israel, have never been to Israel, and have no desire to ever visit Israel. But that doesn't matter. All Jews are guilty. And that is textbook racism. And that's why they get so fucking mad when you ask the question that would make them admit what they're doing and why they're doing it. Just like the right screams the most racist shit imaginable, and then they clutch their pearls when you call them a racist, the left is just as bad, if not worse, with this shit. They go through life with this view of themselves as good people. They're decent, moral, upstanding people who would never be like the shitty racist right wing, except when it comes to fucking Jews. Then they tell themselves they hate Israel, not Jews. They hate Zionism, not Jews, which is fine. And, there's some justification to that. But then a bunch of Jews in Australia are murdered, and they can't stop themselves from tying those deaths to Gaza. And just like that, it's not about the atrocities being committed by Israel. And it's not about the fucked up shit that radical Zionists are doing. It's about hating Jews and absolutely nothing else. And all it takes is one question to lift that mask and sends these good liberals into a tailspin of mindless rage. But whose fucking fault is that? That's not my fucking fault. Be a better fucking person. And if you're listening and this is pissing you off, I'm more than happy to take you apart on Substack. I love slapping the shit out of racists. You know where I am. Come find me, and I will ask you the same fucking question. And then I can watch you flail and squirm as you refuse to fucking answer it.
Well, although we all love a good ogre rant, we must move on. He's been holding this in for days.
I've been all over Substack. Just beating the shit out of trolls. Beating the shit out of them. I've had so many of them block me. It's been delightful. Well, and I haven't even been particularly mean. Like, I haven't been like screaming vulgarity at them. I've just been really, really insistent that they fucking explain what they're saying and why they're saying it. And they've just been foaming at the mouth because they know and they refuse to do it. So
that's what makes you so good at eating the trolls.
Nom, 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 nom.
So anyways, reports have indicated that some Republicans are freaking the fuck out over skyrocketing healthcare premiums for their communities. Or at least they want us to think that they are, so that we fall for the lie that they're trying to save us from the disaster that they set in motion. So, as we've repeatedly talked about on the show, the ACA enhanced subsidies are ending at the end of the month, which has led to astronomical premium increases for many Americans, sometimes as much as 4 times the amount of what they were paying. Republican leadership, including Trump, have refused to extend the subsidies, and they put a nail in the coffin yesterday when Johnson said he absolutely would not bring it for a vote. They've also failed to put forth their own healthcare plan, except for some bullshit healthcare savings account that would be paired with catastrophic policies that'll give Americans around $1,500 or something to help with healthcare costs. They're trying to sell this idea to the American public and pretend that they're solving the problem. However, their plan, and I use that term as loosely as the right holds on to their fucking morals, their plan is a tremendously bad idea because it will almost certainly make the problem worse. Young, healthy Americans will essentially take themselves out of the health insurance pool in favor of the GOP plan, which will lead to even higher premiums and eventually cause the ACA to collapse. And as we talked about during the shutdown, we need healthy people. Sorry, my dog is whining. We need healthy people to be insured because they pay into the system but don't take much from it. And that leaves, more in the pool for the sick people who actually need it, or the people with chronic health conditions. Stop it. Go. Stop.
Bob's very interested in healthcare conversations.
Apparently. Republicans like Johnson know this, which is why they're pushing for the program that will upend the system. Also, as an aside, the whole conservative plan is especially bad for women. I know you're all probably very shocked.
What? No way.
So, say a 26-year-old woman enrolls in this type of plan. 3 months later, she gets pregnant. Well, because the insurance plan that she enrolled in has a massively high deductible and generally doesn't cover anything until that deductible is met, the woman is going to get stuck with all of the doctor bills and even possibly the hospital bill when she delivers, depending on how that goes. The reason that this is called catastrophic coverage is because the deductibles are so high that only catastrophic events could lead to enough medical bills to meet the deductible or out-of-pocket costs. And we're talking more than $10,000 for an individual, over $20,000 for a family, incredibly high.
Oof. Ouch.
Senator Bill Cassidy is one of the Republicans who know that the increased premiums are going to hit his constituents hard.
Isn't he the one that voted for RFK Jr.?
Yes, he is. He is the senator who is responsible for Director Brainworm. And he recently said that he doesn't care who gets credit for fixing healthcare, but we need to get it done. And then he turned around and supported the healthcare savings account plan that'll destroy the ACA because he knows exactly what the plan will do. He was a doctor. He knows how billing works. He knows what happens when there's too many sick people in the pool. So fuck him, fuck his party, and fuck every single inbred racist piece of shit who continues to cast their ballots for these motherfuckers.
Now, it should be noted that after we started recording, I poked around the Democrats in the House and 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, are they doing the discharge petition?
They got a discharge petition. So they are forcing a vote on a clean 3-year extension to the Obamacare premiums, subsidies. So that is not what Mike Johnson wanted, but that vote is going to happen in January, most likely.
And one of our listeners said they won't pass anything without a Hyde Amendment. Yeah, they have said that they won't pass anything unless it includes language that won't allow some states to use, so there's already a Hyde Amendment. There's a loophole, and they want to close the loophole. But the loophole is very small, and they're making it a big thing, and it's not a big thing just because they don't want to pass anything at all.
Right. They just want an excuse
Yeah,
not to do
exactly.
this. But this is a bunch of House Republicans who are in immediate danger of getting wiped out in the midterms, and they want to go, no, please don't take my seat away. So this vote's going to go through, which is really, really bad for Republicans because this is going to be next year. This is going to be the midterms year, and now they have to defend their votes against people having health care as people's premiums are going up.
And what they don't understand is that I don't think Trump would veto this, the extension of the healthcare subsidies, because he's going to want to look like he's saving healthcare, because there's nothing that he likes more than breaking something and then pretending that he fixed it. So really, I fully believe that he will have no problem throwing them all under the bus.
Yeah, he doesn't really care.
No, he doesn't care.
He's not a Republican in that sense. He doesn't care one way or the other about healthcare. The only reason he hates Obamacare is because it's Obamacare. And the only reason he wants to nuke it is because of Obama. And if they could convince people that it was actually a Republican idea, he'd be fine with it.
But not Mitt Romney. We can't bring up the fact that it's modeled after Mitt Romney's bill, because he
doesn't like him either. But it's really the people around him that are saying, it's like, well, we have to take away the healthcare from the people because, government's bad. That's who's telling him to do stuff like this because, he doesn't have an ideology other than how do I get more money in my pocket and how do I hurt the people I hate? Otherwise, he doesn't care.
And how can I leave a legacy with my name on as many things as possible? If we could rebrand it Trump Care, in 5 minutes he would support it.
Oh my God. It would be it's like this has to be the permanent law of the land forever and ever and ever. And the Supreme Court is going to have to codify it as on the Constitution.
Yep.
All right. Now, time for another ogre rant. As we mentioned in the opening, legendary actor, director, and producer Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were killed on Sunday. Sunday was not a great day. Almost certainly by their son, Nick, who has a history of drugs and mental health issues. Now, I grew up watching Rob Reiner play the character Michael Meathead Stivic on All in the Family. He went on to direct some of the most famous and beloved movies of the last 40 years. My top ones are the movie adaptation of Stephen King's Misery, which gave me nightmares for months. And I had read the book and I knew what was coming. And it was still that uncomfortable. Like the scene with the sledgehammer. If you know, you know. Good God. Stand By Me was
that one.
Another. I like the book. Well, it's a novella, but the movie was unbelievably good.
So good.
So good.
And a classic. I mean, I think I've seen Stand By Me probably like 300 times.
Yeah, I mean, that movie gets referenced so much in other stuff. So, and then there's The American President, which was The West Wing before there was The West Wing. And, of course, The Princess Bride, which people, not you apparently, Florida woman, people will be watching that movie until the last star burns out of the sky, and they'll still be quoting it in every language in the known universe.
Also, he didn't mention, because he probably never watched it, but When Harry Met Sally.
I know of it. I've only seen bits and pieces.
Yeah. Well, we are really getting that divorce.
Yeah, I don't watch rom-coms. I'm married. I don't need to. But anyway, you need to watch The Princess Bride. Otherwise, I'm sorry, we just can't be friends anymore. But anyway, by way of comparison, a decade from now, no one's going to know who the fuck Charlie Kirk was or why people put up statues of him. Even less people are going to remember who Rush Limbaugh was. Because like Trump, they spread nothing but hate and left nothing of value. They have no legacy except pain, and pain fades. Rob Reiner's immortal. This, more than anything, is why Trump despised him and why he vomited out a tweet on Truth Social that was so awful and callous. Even his own cult of inbred morons took a step back and said, "Whoa, what the actual fuck is wrong with you?" Now, I'm not going to read the post because it's nauseating. And if you haven't seen it, I would recommend that you continue to not see it. But the gist of it is that Trump was pretty fucking happy Reiner was dead and insisted he was murdered because he didn't like Trump. So this vile piece of shit actually made the horrific murder of two people all about himself. Now, the thing that like people really focused on how inhuman the tweet was. But that's not the thing that I focused on. The part that no one's really talking about is that this is part of a growing pattern with Trump. And I wrote about it on Tuesday, and it's really important. Trump has been increasingly calling for the murder of people he hates. And now he's pardoning Trump sympathetic criminals for state level crimes, something the Constitution is very, very clear that the president does not have the power to do. So why are these two things connected? It's been 11 months since Trump slithered back into the White House and immediately cracked open the fascist playbook for toppling a democracy. But he hasn't had the street level violence that he needs and he's wanted for years. January 6th was the culmination of his deepest, sickest dreams. And it was the most addictive high imaginable for a malignant narcissist. Before that, Trump had been trying to get the military or federal law enforcement to shoot protesters, but without success. He'd been egging on his supporters to violence, but it wasn't enough. January 6th was an uncut rush right into his veins. Hundreds of terrorists willing to kill and die for him. But after that, nothing. Trump hasn't been able to summon his mob to murder anyone since then. And why? Because even though Trump promises presidential pardons, he can't protect them from state charges. And 25 years in a state prison is no better than 25 years in a federal prison. So the Proud Boys aren't going to show up and beat up protesters in California and then go to prison for Trump. They're not going to attack polling places in Pennsylvania and then spend the next 2 decades rotting in a Pennsylvania jail. They're not going to murder Democrats in Wisconsin for their glorious leader and then face a life sentence in front of a Wisconsin jury. But if Trump can get the most corrupt Supreme Court in history to invent, yet again, new presidential powers, then Trump will have his brown shirts. All of his calls to murder his enemies will be answered by terrorists eager to kill in his name, secure in the knowledge that they're going to get a pardon. So Trump's tweet about Rob Reiner and his wife, that was the ranting of a twisted fuck without a shred of humanity. But it was also the ongoing scream of a junkie craving his next fix. And God help us all if he finally gets a supply.
Yep. Yeah, it was so bad. The tweet or whatever Truth Social post is called.
I refuse to call them those. I refuse. I know it's supposed to be called Truths. I refuse.
They're whatever tweets. The fuck they're called. It was so bad that when I saw it being shared on Facebook, I said, that looks fake. And I started Googling, is this real? I'm Googling like phrases from it because I refuse to go to Truth Social and actually look at it. And then I sent it to you, and we were both like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he is the worst person.
Yeah.
The worst person to ever exist.
Yeah.
And of course, that's why the right voted for him. Because they're the worst fucking people this country has ever produced.
Yeah. Well, good news, everyone. We brought back we live in the stupidest timeline this week because I was so angry about something that I saw. So way back when I first joined the Og Pod, I told a story about the crunchy mom group that I belong to in my area that regularly promotes Maha bullshit. You know, where women exchange breast milk without making sure that they're free of communicable diseases while also raging against vaccines.
So
I
nasty.
know, it's so gross. Sorry, I had to cough. I know. And Florida's mango trees are blooming and it's murdering me. So anyways, so yeah, they're all sharing breast milk with each other. They don't give a shit that they haven't had it tested. Who knows what they're passing to each other? I told you guys the story about this. Well, recently I was telling Ogre about how a lot of these women are refusing to get their infants vitamin K shots at birth. They claim that their research
loosely used word. Doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Has proven that it's deadly for kids. And if you're unaware, babies do not make enough vitamin K. Well, they don't have it because vitamin K is typically made in the gut. And when babies are born, they don't have the gut bacteria to make it, okay? And the moms don't pass much to the fetus through the placenta or really like once the baby is born through their breast milk. And vitamin K is absolutely essential in activating clotting factors, which of course stops you from bleeding if something happens, right? The risk of brain bleeds is about 1 in 60 if a baby doesn't get vitamin K at birth. They usually give it about 6 hours, up to 6 hours after birth. And they're at high risk for severe bleeding for about 6 months after birth until they have developed enough of the gut bacteria to make it on their own. In the 1960s, doctors started giving babies vitamin K after birth, and the number of vitamin K deficiency brain bleeds started to plummet. Well, now they're starting to rise again. And to be clear, these are not like brain bleeds that are caused by trauma. They're spontaneous, meaning there's no way to prevent them except getting the vitamin K shot. A study was recently published in the Journal of the American Medical Association that showed the number of parents refusing to allow their infants to get the shot has increased. It was about 3% a decade ago. Now it's 5%. Not a lot. It hasn't gone up a significant amount, but
That's almost double.
Yeah, it's almost double, and it's all bad. If it's rising at all, it's bad. The largest increase is in non-Hispanic white babies. The Maha crowd.
I swear to God, when they talk about great replacement, it's like, we don't have to replace you. You're just killing yourselves.
I know. The Maha movement has made a frightening amount of mothers mistrust vitamin K. This comes from a misunderstanding they have about a black box warning for it. That's the FDA's most serious alert. That's the alert that they gave the COVID vaccine recently. And the reason for the alert is that there's a higher chance of adverse effects when the vitamin is given through an IV, not as a shot. And usually it's in older individuals who have the adverse effects, okay? So
not a problem for babies.
Yeah, generally not a problem for babies. I think there was like a study found like one baby had a side effect from it. We're talking about like 1 in a million. You know what I mean?
Don't you know that if one baby dies, then you have to stop it? Right. And saving hundreds of babies with a shot is not worth sacrificing that one baby?
Yeah.
That's Maha math.
Yeah, Maha math. So Dr. Tiffany McKee Garrett, an associate professor of pediatrics at Texas Children's Hospital in Houston, told NBC News that the bleeding caused by the refusal to give vitamin K happens internally, and it has a 20% mortality rate. But some studies have shown that the mortality rate tops 50%.
Jesus.
Which is
insane. I mean, babies are pretty fucking fragile. So, they start bleeding internally. That's not good.
In other words, refusing to give an infant vitamin K because some rando on the internet who has no fucking science background said it was bad could cost their children their lives, proving again that we are living in the stupidest fucking timeline.
And to continue, in case you missed it on Tuesday night, God Emperor Trump, using the authority granted him as King of the United States unbound by law, has unilaterally declared that the U.S. military is blockading oil tankers coming out of Venezuela because of the fake fentanyl traffic the regime invented to justify waging war in South America. The Mad King also accused Venezuela of stealing, quote, oil, land, and other assets from the United States and demanded their return. Now,
Wait, what land?
well, exactly. Yeah, my South American history is a little rusty, but I don't recall the United States ever owning land and oil in Venezuela. But here we are, effectively declaring war on another country for completely fabricated reasons, which seems to be a recurring Republican theme. So there was no congressional approval. There's no evidence of drugs. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about with the land and oil. It's like when was it ours? I don't know. There's no public support. It's just neocons in the regime demanding access to Venezuela's massive oil fields to please their fossil fuel billionaire owners. And this is what MAGA voted for. Foreign entanglements and turning our military into mercenaries for Exxon and Chevron because we live in the stupidest fucking timeline.
Also, did you see that he declared fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction yesterday?
Oh my fucking God, yes, I forgot to put that in the notes.
Because he's trying to marry the war on drugs with the war on terror, like we said.
Yep. It's just
Two of the most ineffective wars in the history of wars.
Jason Odell says fentanyl is the new yellow cake uranium. Going all the way back to the to 2000 and what was it? 2001 was it? God, man, that's a callback. Ooh.
He'd be like, "What's uranium? Where is yellow cake Ukraine?"
Wait, yellow cake? I want a piece of yellow cake. What is it for? Is it for my birthday?
Is it from McDonald's? Does McDonald's sell cake now? Is it shaped like an arch?
Christ, can I put my name on it? Can it be the Trump arches? Christ. Oh my God. It's, I'm still waiting for the New York Times to start signing off on this because they want a war. Wars are good for business.
Well, just like we knew they wanted Trump back because as my 21-year-old son said during the election, the media wants Trump back because they sell papers.
Yep, he's the goose that lays the golden eggs, and they got their goose back. Fucking collaborators. All right, let us move on to headlines for short attention spans. Trump, in the middle of his dementia, is also completely fucking delusional about the economy. I wrote about this back at the beginning of October. The regime has been insisting all year the economy was awesome. But then it shifted to, well, you know what? It's going to be great next year. Just you wait. Now, Trump is wondering out loud if his amazing economic policies are going to kick in fast enough to help Republicans in the midterm. This is from the Wall Street Journal. During an interview with the Wall Street Journal on Friday in the Oval Office, the president touted his efforts to secure multi-billion-dollar investments in the U.S., arguing that the money will help transform the American economy. But he acknowledged that he couldn't predict if that would translate into political gains for Republicans next fall. The answer to that is no, they will not. Why? Because Trump doesn't have any real economic policies, and he's not securing multi-billion-dollar investments in the U.S. Not really. His big tariff plan to force companies to move manufacturing here isn't working the way he wants it to because Trump is so chaotic, no one is really willing to risk the money. They would rather pay Trump the bribe to get a tariff exemption and Trump loves his bribes. And
Mhm.
next year, when the economy implodes, because that's coming, Trump will just blame the Fed and insist it'll all turn around in 2027. Just you wait.
Well, we're in the middle of December, which means we're still 11 months out from the midterms. That's an eternity. That's an eternity in politics, and even longer in this shitty version of reality where every week is the longest 6 months of my life. It's fucking this reality is 0-10.
Would not
Zero
recommend.
10. Despite this, Republicans are already managing expectations about the midterms while Democrats are sharpening their message. Joe Grutters, the head of the wholly Trump-owned RNC, has been all over right-wing media telling the base that his party is facing a, quote, looming disaster and that they're almost certainly going to be, or to get, they're almost certainly going to, quote, get crushed in the midterms. Meanwhile, Democrats are making healthcare and SNAP a primary focus on their message going forward. Republicans stole hundreds of millions of dollars from SNAP and Medicaid to pay for the trillions in tax cuts for billionaires. For some reason, they didn't think that this would ever come back to haunt them. Maybe they thought that their fascist takeover would be done by now, or that the legacy press would lie for them like they always do. Maybe they were just blinded by greed and arrogance. Whatever the reason, Republicans are panicking, and Democrats are circling like wolves going in for the kill. We still have 11 months of economic collapse, stagflation, the Epstein files, ICE violence, and probably an illegal war ahead of us, all of which will be blamed 100% on Trump and his party of billionaire puppets. Good luck.
Oh yeah, good luck, definitely.
And the polls showed that MAGA is like kind of pissed at Trump.
Yeah, if they're pissed now, whoo, wait until they start losing all their SNAP benefits and their hospitals are closing, and yeah, and their they start losing their jobs because unemployment's going up. Wait until all of that really, really hits sometime in the next 6 months.
We'd almost feel bad for them, but we don't give a fuck about them. So
they voted for it. This is what they wanted. They just thought it was going to happen to the cities. They thought it was going to happen to the big blue cities, and only they were going to get fucked. It's like, no. They openly said they were going to do this to you. Why did you think it wasn't going to happen? All right. Now, speaking of elections, Trump and his team of criminals, liars, grifters, and mass murderers are talking about preemptive pardons for when the regime falls and a Democrat sitting in the Oval Office in 2029. They're going to sell this as protecting themselves from quote unquote political persecution and a weaponized Department of Justice, because every Republican accusation is a confession. But the two important things to understand here is that these are very stupid people, and the pardon Stephen Miller writes and uses the auto pen to sign will be sloppy and filled with mistakes and loopholes. A smart attorney general, who will not be fucking Merrick Garland, will be able to hold them accountable, or maybe just hand them over to another country and let them put them in prison for crimes against humanity. The other thing is that and I've written about this multiple times, this is not how a regime talks when it thinks it's winning. The leaders of a 1,000-year Reich do not talk about an exit strategy. They talk about how they're going to rule for the next 30, 40 years before handing power over to the next generation of Hitler youth.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, the leaders of a failing criminal conspiracy are no different than rats fleeing a sinking ship. They're looking for a way out, and the closer the ship gets to slipping under the waves, the faster the rats are going to abandon the SS Trumptanic. Glub, glub, glub.
So we're in the middle of another outbreak of measles. Shocking. This time it's centered in South Carolina with a second hotspot along the Arizona-Utah border. Double shock. So far, there are about 130 confirmed cases. When I did the notes, that's about what it was. And hundreds of people in quarantine. Thanks to this latest outbreak, the United States has passed over 1,900 cases this year. There were just 527 cases in the last 4 years combined under Biden. But thanks to the amazing job of Director Brainworm and the anti-vaxxer stupidity of Magaland, we're about to lose our status as a nation that can claim we have eliminated measles. Once you go 12 months straight without confirmed cases, you're off the list. As the richest nation in the world with a so-called advanced medical system, that's fucking humiliating. And while the completely preventable disease rampages through the state of South Carolina, Republican Governor Henry McMaster refused to mandate the MMR vaccine to control the spread. Quote, "There's some people who don't want it, who don't want to do it, and that's up to them. People need to understand it's dangerous, just like a lot of other diseases. If there's some way to prevent it, you ought to do it."
Yes, it's called fucking vaccines.
What a fucking useless asshole.
Christ. Now, if you've ever dealt with Veterans Affairs, you know that it is chronically understaffed. Florida's woman's brother had an MRI for his shoulder several years ago. It took months to find a facility that could do it, and then several more months to find a VA doctor to read the results, which is fucking sane.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually don't know if they ever read the results.
Jesus Christ. Now, the regime still, despite this, is cutting 35,000 healthcare positions this month. A VA spokesperson claimed the positions being eliminated are mostly unfilled and left over from COVID. However, the cuts come after the agency eliminated 30,000 other positions this year with the DOGE cuts. In addition to the jobs cuts, the VA will close some of its regional offices, making it harder for veterans to find a facility near them. It looks like a whole lot more of our veterans are going to have a hard time finding a facility for their MRIs. Now, it's important to understand that Trump had every intention of using the military to stage a coup when he lost the 2028 election. That's the whole point of Pete Hegseth going in there and trying to turn it into a white nationalist military.
Warrior ethos.
Yeah, exactly. So every dictator has always treated their military well in order to gain their loyalty, but not Trump. His plan appears to be shit on veterans every second of every day and then ask the military to overthrow the rule of law, which I'm sure is going to go just great.
Well, let's end this on a good note. A federal judge recently ordered Kilmar Abrego Garcia to be released from ICE custody. Yay!
Woo!
The Maryland man has become the face of Trump's inhumane immigration policies. As we know, he was sent to CCOT in El Salvador, tortured, came back, and then charged with, crimes that he did not. It doesn't seem like he committed. Judges don't believe he committed the crimes.
Oh my God. What was it? He was driving from Maryland to Texas
like four times a week with his children.
Yeah, it was like, okay, buddy, I feel like that's not happening.
Right. Every week for like a year or something like that. It was wild. Well, he's now back home with his family. And while the fight is not over, the regime was also prohibited from taking him back into custody, which is what they did last time he was released. They scheduled an immigration appointment for the next day, and then they just rearrested him. This time they were told, you're not doing that. Nice. And we don't know how long this reprieve will last, but it's some good news for now. Abrego Garcia has vowed to continue fighting for his freedom, and we hope that he beats this lawless, cruel regime.
Well, their track record on malicious prosecution is not great.
No.
They keep trying and they keep doing a really, really bad job of it. So,
yeah, it's terrible.
Fingers crossed for him. All right. It is time to go on to self-care of the week. My Trump voting in-laws were in town this weekend. So my self-care was to not be there. Whenever they come in, I leave. I have not spoken to these people since 2016. And the next conversation I plan to have with them is at their funeral when I whisper, enjoy hell, to their coffin. So instead of putting up with their bullshit, I spent the weekend next door at Claudia's writing a bunch of script for my D&D campaign, which is on hold until after the holidays. But on Sunday, Anastasia's musical had its last performance. And since they had asked for some parent volunteers, I went to help strike the set. Anastasia was thrilled I was there. She thought that was awesome. And we worked together to disassemble the scenery and take down the audience stands. And it was a lot of fun. And as the oldest cast members, she was one of the last to leave. And bonus, hard work also helps when you're trying to get a job as a paid counselor this summer. So everyone, fingers crossed for Anastasia.
Oh, she would be such a good counselor.
Oh my God. Well, kids love her.
Isn't that what you did? Isn't that how you met Dee?
I was at a summer camp. Yeah. This is like a different type of camp, but yeah, that was a sleepaway summer camp. So, but that is how I met her. But overall, it was a quiet weekend for me, at least. Mrs. Ogre, not so much, but there's not a lot I could do about that other than give her big hugs and listen to her vent. And there was much venting. So I feel bad.
Well, everybody knows what I did on Sunday. At least you should, if you've been listening to our pod this football season.
You were watching the Dallas Cowboys, right?
The Bills were down 21-7 at halftime against the Patriots. I was messaging Ogre and going, oh, what the fuck? And he doesn't care about football at all, but he does humor me. The online commentator... 3 times, actually. I was sobbing. The online commentators were screaming that the Pats were back and the Bills had already lost. And, they were just basking in the score. And I actually fell asleep at the beginning of halftime. And when I woke up, there were about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. And we were back, baby. Josh Allen, our comeback king, brought me back from the brink of a mental breakdown and won the game. While I was celebrating our glorious win, I learned that the Chiefs lost their game, and for the first time since 2014, they will not be in their playoffs or be in the playoffs. And as someone who loves a team that had a 17-year playoff drought, I will not be jinxing our savior Josh Allen by mocking another team's failures or their quarterback's injury. Instead, we will cross our fingers, take many shots of coffee in my case, because boy, I can't handle Buffalo's penchant for alcohol every time we score. I just can't do it.
Your liver's still recuperating from your cousin
Still
visit.
recuperating from I don't know what I'm going to do when I move back home. I'm going to have to avoid them on game days. Sorry, guys. I have to watch it by myself with my coffee. And we will pray to the football gods that we are finally going to get our ring. Go Bills. Also, this show will air tomorrow, my little monster's 7th birthday. I've been very open about the fact that I never thought I would have a second child, but life is full of surprises. Nathan is brilliant, funny, and responsible for at least 90% of my gray hair. He's still a giant cuddler, and every day he wakes me up by crawling on top of me and showering me with kisses. And ironically, he's such a cuddler that I now sleep on the sofa because I can't handle sleeping in the bed, and he refuses to leave my bed.
You know, he just wakes you up with kisses just to butter you up for the day.
That's what I think.
He's like, all right, let me butter her up now so she'll be less mad at me later.
Let me just say that I was in Publix I was in Aldi on Monday, and I was doing an Instacart order, and I got to know all of the people who work there because I'm in there so often. And one of them goes, oh, how are your boys? And I was like, or how's your son? I go, oh, which one, the big one or the little one? He goes, well, let's talk about the little one. I go, oh, well, it's 1:00 and I haven't received a phone call today, so I guess good. and then No shit, you guys. I'm sitting in the line picking him up. It's 3 p.m. He gets out at 3:15, and I get a phone call telling me that he's suspended for the next day.
Almost
And
made it.
I said to the dean, I go, we almost made it. He kicked a student who was copying him, like you know the copy game.
Yep. Stop copying me. Stop copying me.
Stop copying. Yes, and he has no chill, So he kicked them. Yikes. And then he got into the car and said, I'm gonna write another diss track. That's it. I'm writing another diss track.
Oh my God. Okay, Drake.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, despite his spicy attitude, which is definitely the Latino side of him, I'm so happy that we had him, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. So happy birthday to my little guy. I don't allow him to listen to our podcast, but someday he'll hear me and know that, boy, he was driving me crazy.
Happy birthday, little man. All right. So a little housekeeping info. We will not have a show next week since it's Christmas and we're taking the week off. We will be back on December 30th to record one last live show for the year to be posted on New Year's Eve. We're going to be giving our predictions for 2026 and celebrating the end of a really, really shitty year. I don't know. Maybe I'll be day drinking. I haven't decided yet.
Oof, really?
Yeah, I don't know. It would be funny if I could hear like Drunk Ogre. Although Drunk Ogre is not radically different than non-Drunk Ogre. I'm just louder.
Really? I think I should get drunk with you one time.
Yeah, you're not going to be all that impressed. I laugh more, and that's kind of it.
Maybe I could get you to sing Cardi B's WAP with me.
I would probably have to know the lyrics first.
It's okay. We love a good game of karaoke.
And maybe you can watch the goddamn Princess Bride. We haven't watched Princess Bride. Okay, that's it for today's show.
You haven't watched The Princess's Bride.
God, that's it. This is no show on the 30th. That's it.
Oh no, another week off. What will I do?
Anyway, the Opinionated Ogre podcast, like the newsletter, is free and 100% supported by you, our amazing Princess Bride watching audience. We have no advertisers or sponsors, so please consider becoming a paid subscriber for only $5 a month or just $50 a year after you watch The Princess Bride. If you'd prefer a one-time donation, we now have a PayPal button for your convenience. You can help the podcast grow by giving us a 5-star Apple rate up. 5-star Apple rating. You can help the podcast grow by giving us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast, Patreon, or wherever you're listening, and spread the word by sharing the OgPod far and wide on whatever social media platform you're watching. You can find me at the Opinionated Ogre on Substack, Blue Sky, and also on TikTok. Florida Woman, where can our beloved audience find you?
You can find me at Florida Woman Rants on Substack,
where you should definitely be watching The Princess Bride. The next Blue Wave is coming. November 3rd, 2026 is our D-Day, when we storm the beaches and take back our power. Republicans cannot stop us. Remember, you are not alone. There are millions of us. Stay strong. We beat the fascists once, and we will do it again. Adios.
Adios. Woo.
Maybe I'll just buy you like the DVD or a Blu-ray and make you watch it.
I feel like you have, like, I've also never watched Star Wars.
Any of them?
No, like it's been on TV and I've been in the room. But you know that I'm not like a sci-fi fan. I'm just
at least there's that, right? You don't like sci-fi, but The Princess Bride.
I'll tell you the reason that I haven't watched The Princess Bride is because I don't see it on any streaming services, and I don't want to pay for something that
I will send you like $4 to Reddit.
No. You're so dumb.
I'm going to specifically, when I send you money, I'm going to send an extra $4 with a note that says, this $4 for
And
the
probably
Princess Bride.
I could probably get it for free if I asked my brother, because he has like, I don't know, some website that he goes to, but I will watch it.
Like
It's not that I'm against watching
it. Every single line in that movie is just quotable.
Yeah, it's not like I'm against it. It's just that I've never like had the opportunity to watch it. So it's not like Star Wars where I'm just like, ugh, why?
It's a romance. You'll love it.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Andre the Giant.
And he's fucking hilarious. He's hilarious in that movie.
I will watch it. I'll watch it maybe after football season is over. Because now
PJ Schuster says he hasn't watched it either. I'm sorry, I have to block you now, PJ. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
She.
Oh, she. I can't see their picture.
I think she.
PJ,
you're a she, right?
They can't answer anymore. I blocked them.
No, I don't want a peanut, but I've been sucking on Reese Pieces through the whole show.
It's from the movie.
And he never. Oh. Well. Womp womp womp.
Womp womp. All right.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks.
When is our next show?
December 30th.
Oh, that's right. You already said that.
I literally just said that.
I know. Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right.
PJ is a 75-year-old woman.
I knew you were a woman.
That I'm blocking.
My laugh is hysterical. This is the most I laugh in an entire week is doing the podcast.
Oh, am I your other Alexa Pro?
You're my other Alexa Pro. You did something the other day. I was like, oh, it's so cute. Oh, I know what it was. It was when we were doing our notes. When we're doing our notes, if he wants to rant about something, he leaves me a little note. And he's like, I got this. I have something to say about this. And I'm like, oh, he's so adorable.
There's an angry rant incoming.
I actually think about you sometimes, and I'm like, God, he's so sweet. I wonder if him and Deborah ever fight. Like, do y'all ever argue?
Like real arguments or just like, bickering?
Yeah. I just can't imagine you being a dick.
What's it gotta be me? How do you know it wasn't her?
Well, because I know her.
That's wow. Oh, it's like that. Actually, we've had in the entire time we've been together, which is since 1997. So we're working on almost 30 years. We've had about 4, maybe 5 actual real fights.
Really?
Yeah. And I can actually tell you
them all.
No. I can actually tell you what like 3 of them were off the top of my head, but we're not doing that here. So
No. That's so funny. Like, yeah, I was like, man, I don't think they ever fight. Like, you guys are the most chill couple I've ever met in my life.
Well, that and we didn't want to be like our parents.
Yeah.
So, it's like all her parents know how to do is yell at each other because Italians. It's like, yeah, we're definitely not doing that shit. So
I'll check it out. I'll check out the first Star Wars. Anyways, let me get off here, but I want to talk to you. I want to tell you something.
All right,
funny.
Everybody, enjoy your holidays, and we will see you on the other side of Christmas. Bye.
Bye.